Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by ThinkGeek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 342. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I think I'm Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And Tiffany Electrified Nolan will be joining us later from the news desk. So Joel Dude I Rock Albert. This is one of the longest breaks in podcast history. It is our second longest from the initial year and a half break that occurred at one point. And we've gone over a month since our last show.
Has it been over a month, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last one posted at the end of June, and now we're into August. So it is definitely over a month, which is fucked up.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, summertime is crazy. And
yeah, it is.
Between vacations and you getting fucking married and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's a crazy summer. So
I had my bachelor party. I was out in New Orleans, and I don't even know all the reasons, but there were a lot of reasons.
Yes. Yeah. So we apologize, but we'll do our best, especially once summer finishes up. It's going to be much easier. But as it is right now, I'm not sure if we have a show next week. I don't even know. So we'll keep you abreast of things on Twitter and Facebook. That's all we can do.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Yep. All right. Well, why don't we start off? Normally we say feedback from last week's show, but this is feedback from the last few weeks. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Palter comments. Where are you? When is the podcast coming back? Please help. Tillman 2202 comments. This week I thought I'd find a new episode since your last episode was 3 weeks ago. Now, this is an old comment, obviously, but I did not. Please tell me there will be an episode this week. And righteous comments. Are y'all on some sort of summer vacation?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much all of those things.
Yes, all of those things are all true. Yeah.
It was not an intentional month-long vacation. It was a bunch of smaller vacations taken by different people that then combined like Voltron into a summer vacation.
That's correct, yeah. Like if you were to add all of us up, we've basically all been on vacation for a month.
Yes. But the important thing here, especially to you, Tillman 2202, we are back this week. This is a new episode this week, which is what you were looking for. Now, granted, you were looking for it last week, but it is now here this week, and that's better than nothing at all. So
you take what you can get with us at this point.
Yeah. So we're going to do our best for the remainder of the summer. I know I still have another week of vacation coming up in a few weeks that I'm going to be down in North Carolina for, so obviously won't be a show that week. Jay's getting married, so we know there's not going to be a show that week. He's going to be on his honeymoon, so there's going to be some more small breaks here during the summer. But come the fall, we are going to be fucking back to back to back to back. It's going to be insane, and you are going to be super pleased.
I hope.
Yeah, at least that's the goal.
Yeah, that is the goal. I mean, I won't have any more vacation time left, so that's good news. I will be gone in January, but that's the only other time I can possibly think of. But,
Nice.
It's not bad. I mean, overall, for the amount of years this thing's gone on.
Yeah, cost average it. It's
man.
You've had more episodes
content
than
all day, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Well, if any of you have awesome feedback like this or complaints, which these were more veiled complaints hidden in comments, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And site-related news, we have absolutely nothing. As you know, we've been on vacation, so we didn't do anything with the site. So I guess on that, we'll just hop right on over into what we're playing. Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what have you been playing this week?
This week, since I actually have been home, mostly Overwatch. I played a little bit of Pokemon Go to try to get into the hype, but since it's crashed and burned and set on fire already, I stopped doing that a couple days ago. But mostly Overwatch, I think that's my game. I'll eventually be moving back to Destiny, I think, next week, just to prep the tune. I haven't played Destiny since, I don't even remember, since way before the patch and all the other new stuff. So I'll be eventually slogging through against my own will just to make sure I get my level capped before the actual new real content comes out. So hopefully next week I'll just be running PoEs and all that stuff and get back into it. That's the plan, at least.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you?
I've been playing, obviously, Destiny every week, just doing the raid and stuff. I've been playing a game on my phone, Smash Squad, which is by the Wargaming guys. It's the one I talked about a few weeks ago. Still play that every day. I got a bunch of people here hooked on that. And I too have been playing some Pokemon Go since it came out. I have not yet bailed on it. I'm still hoping that Niantic gets their collective head out of their ass and makes things right, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you see, I'm an old Ingress guy. Back for the last 2 years, like 2 years ago, I played Ingress for like a year and a half. And they back then were like the most inept group of developers that one would ever see, which was ironic back then because they were a part of Google. And so there was all this faith in them that because they were Google engineers that like, oh, it's going to be an amazing product. And for a while, like at the very beginning of Ingress, they were really talkative with the community. And then like 6 months into Ingress, they just stopped. And they really never talked to him again. Now, they have a community manager for Ingress. He still is employed and apparently does work for them. I've never seen anything from him. But they don't have one for Pokemon Go. And
it's so bizarre.
With all of the problems that they've had, well, I should say they had one for Pokemon Go, but when they spun off out of Ingress, he decided to stay with Google. He was like, he's like, Google is probably going to definitely be a good career choice, whereas I don't know about Ingress. So it's been sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy with their success. It's actually almost put a microscope on them even more and shown how inept they can be, which is a shame because they were given, like you said, the golden egg, and it was almost impossible to fuck it up. The game that they built, which is Pokemon Go, isn't even new. It's Ingress that they just reskinned. Yeah, there's all of the map points, the stops that you go to. Those are player-generated places that Ingress did. And Ingress didn't even do those places. The people that played Ingress did those places. So none of the content or data or anything that you see in the game was even built by them. It's all content-driven stuff that you're using from a previous game. So it's crazy that after all this time, the years that they've had Ingress out there, that they could come up with an even worse product, but somehow they've managed to do that. So I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Well, I'll give them a chance, see what happens. And
yeah, they've got time. I mean, it's just ironic to see a game that's like in 2 weeks to see a game that skyrockets and then at the same exact time just implodes on itself is weird.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over in the new releases? And the only major new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it is Batman: The Telltale Series Episode 1 Realm of Shadows. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, the 360, the PS3, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. This is the first of 5 episodes in Telltale's latest point-to-click graphic adventure series. It's a brand new Batman story. It's not tied to any existing Batman stories out there. Time in the game is split about 50-50 between Bruce Wayne and Batman, so you get both sides of the storytelling. New feature has been added to the game called Crowd Play, where you can share a link with people. I think right now it's between 4 and 12, but they said in the future they'll support Twitch streaming of the game and have more players that are allowed to do this. But basically everybody can vote on the decisions you make in the game. So when you get to one of these trees, the dialogue trees, and you have to pick what you're going to do, everybody, like, let's say you got a whole bunch of people in your family room, they're all watching you play. Well, everybody has their phone out and they put in their vote, and a little thing shows up on the screen that says, this one got 85%, this one got 10%, this one got 5%. And you can either take one of those or you can pick your own, and kind of a cool feature, at least making it a little more social. The game looks great. Telltale always crushes it with these games, and there's no review scores out yet, but I'm sure this will do fantastic, just like The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, you just, Tales of the Borderlands. Like, these guys can do no wrong. So I think this thing's going to do fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I never was into the I think, wasn't Hit into the Yeah, that's what I thought. He's giving me the nod with a thumbs up. I never played it, but I know it did extremely well. I'm wondering, does it really translate, though, into Batman and all these other IPs? Like, Hit, do you care about this or no?
Yeah, totally.
You do?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I love all their series. Walking Dead. I didn't do what's that other show? The other one, the Wolf Among Us one. I didn't do that one.
Oh, okay.
But I did Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and now I want to jump into this one. Yeah.
Then I feel like I stand corrected. It's good to get the feedback, because I always wondered if I looked at this as like the Lego series type stuff where everyone buys the Lego game no matter what, and Telltale's like has that same sort of formula where they find a great IP and then they build their game around it. I was wondering if that carried over like it does with Legos, where they've all been good, because I knew about the hype with Telltale.
These all have been. They all are super high rated. They haven't had a shit one yet.
I feel like their peak was The Walking Dead season 1.
Right, that's what everyone
ever
says.
since then, that's their best
Yeah.
one. They've been like Game of Thrones seemed like way too long. Wolf Among Us was really good, but not as good as Game of Thrones. Hopefully, this one will be better, or if not, the same as Walking Dead. But we'll see. We'll see.
And I mean, from the details of like what you can do in the game, like I think that the voting stuff, I think that's all really cool. So I mean, again, they seem to do well with the people that love their games, and they haven't really had a full-on flop, so to speak.
Yep.
So I mean, I guess if you're into that shit, go for it.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Well, that's all we have for new releases. So why don't we hop on over to Tiff and gaming news? What's going on, Tiff?
Hey guys, not much. Just enjoying the summer break.
Nice.
It was definitely hard coming back tonight.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, after a month, that tends to happen.
Yeah, you run out of the rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Yes.
wait, what do I do? How do I hook all my stuff up?
Yeah, it's like being on school vacation. You're like, I got to go back to school.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, you want to hit us up with the first story?
Sure.
First story.
Xbox One's Cortana update arrives at last, and this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. After months upon months of delays, Cortana is finally ready for your Xbox One. Microsoft has started rolling out its promised summer update with Cortana's smarter, richer voice control as its centerpiece. You can use your headset or Kinect to search games, invite friends to play, and otherwise accomplish tasks that required either stiff commands or your gamepad. This also represents another step towards tighter integration of the Xbox and Windows 10 experiences, such as platform-independent party chat and streamlined shopping that lets you redeem Xbox credits. Even the not-quite-headline-worthy updates are fairly substantial. You can play background music from supporting apps, Pandora's first, when a game's soundtrack just won't do. It's easier to sift through your game collection, and you can set your language independently of where you live, handy if you've moved to another country. No, the software doesn't fulfill all of Microsoft's promised Xbox One changes for this year. You'll have to wait until September for Play Anywhere, but it's undoubtedly one of the biggest updates in a long while. So what do you guys think about this? Have you had any experiences with Cortana yet?
Yeah, we've had this in our house on our
I know.
Xboxes for.
I was trying to lead you into
thanks.
commenting.
Yes, so we've had this in our house on 2 of our Xboxes for months now, and it is so much better than the old voice control, and the ability to say stuff like, I can't say it because there's an Xbox here, but hey blank, start a party and invite Judai Rock and Roger Roken. And even though I said one of your real names and one of your gamer tags, it would start a party, invite you both. Everything works flawlessly. It is it's really nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, I have to say. I mean, I haven't downloaded it yet. I have literally not turned on my Xbox in 4 months, feels like. No, it's been like 3 weeks. But a long time because I've been playing Overwatch. I've been on PC for pretty much the entire summer. But the Cortana thing, my biggest thing with what Xbox is doing, and I got in an argument over this at work when someone said, they asked me, like, which console should I buy? And obviously I always say Xbox. I've been that way for forever, and it's just, I like the ecosystem. But to me, this is the reason, like this Cortana stuff, the stuff that's happening right now where they're blending the Windows 10 with your Xbox console. There's so many more opportunities now for feature parity with a PC, even if you're not a PC gamer. For me, obviously, it's a huge step forward because I can eventually play PC games with my shitty Xbox friends. That's great. But even besides that, a lot of the tech, being able to port those apps over to your Xbox One, is really where I think the ecosystem is going to shine. And I know that devs are really upset with the locked ecosystem, and I get that. Yeah. It's ironic because a lot of these people that are frustrated are also people that love Apple, and they live inside this frozen tundra of the Apple ecosystem. But it also does lend itself to the ability to do a lot of these cool things with mixing the parity between your Xbox and your PC. So while I get the frustrations of developers, and I get that it's mostly that they're scared. It's really none of what they have said has really come to fruition yet. But it's this feeling of like eventually Steam's no longer going to be on your PC. Like that's the real crux of that argument. But the Cortana stuff, like all that stuff, it's good. It's helpful. It's better. Yeah, it's an upgrade. It better than what you experience. Yep. Right. So it's hard to argue with them doing these good things by saying that it's ultimately bad. Until we see some of the bad, I'm going to, give them the benefit of the doubt and enjoy what they're giving to us, and that's the Cortana. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, and they made other cool enhancements to the dash itself. Like when you go into My Games and Apps, now it's actually it's sorted small tiles. You can see everything. There's a tab that's like ready to install for the stuff you've uninstalled or whatever. Really easy to find. When you're doing downloads now, you see what's in your queue. And not only does it show you when something's downloading, instead of just a progress bar from 1 to 100%, it tells you the exact amount of megabytes that have downloaded out of how many. And it tells you how many megabits a second you're getting at that time.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, yeah. So you're like,
yeah, I hate the ambiguity of like,
yes.
there's a percentage. Is my internet slow? Like I always would wonder, is it their shit servers that I'm like only getting? Yeah. Right. It's like I do a speed test. I know I'm getting like 100 megs down, but I go there and I'm like, this feels slow.
Why is this creeping? Yeah. I don't understand it. Yeah.
So it's nice to get that like real feedback when you're actually doing a download.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's all good stuff. Like improvements wise, I would argue that the Xbox, now I've played PlayStation actually more recently than I've played my Xbox because I played Uncharted.
No.
So I went from Uncharted into Overwatch, and that's kind of my thing. But I mean, for me, I turned on my PS4 after about a year of not using it. And I was like, oh, it's like the same. Like it's not, unless I'm missing something, and PS4 people could definitely give us some feedback.
The UI is the same.
It's relatively, but even feature set, like I wasn't like, oh, I can do this now. And that might just be my inexperience of using the PS4. But I always feel like Xbox is getting closer and closer to mixing those features that we use on our PC every day. And to me, that's a huge advantage of having the system. So.
Yeah. Besides, Xbox has that request a feature page where you can submit something, other people can vote on it, and that shit is actually every one of these updates has taken shit from there and they've pushed it out to us. And I don't feel like we get that same kind of openness from Sony. Like Sony will let you beta test the next dashboard,
sure,
but it's stuff that Sony picked, and it's not stuff that was really community driven for the most part. So I feel like
that's where Microsoft now knows that Sony can't compete. Like. Not with the user-generated stuff, although the music background stuff, that was a user-generated request. That's one of the things that we're getting this week that is actually because of a vote up. That was one of the most requested features. But really that they are able to do these things with an operating system that has even larger install base, Sony can never do. And to me, that's why you buy into their ecosystem, because you know future-wise, Sony just can't compete, period. I mean, it's just really not a possibility. They can always compete on the game side, and if that's your thing, that's awesome. But at that level, there is such a minuscule difference between them in terms of games. The biggest argument at my office when I was trying to explain why you should get an Xbox was that the Sony PS4 was faster than the Xbox One, which is by far the dumbest thing you could possibly say. Because when you put them on 1-to-1 on that scale, if you're going to sit there and tell me you can see this amazing difference, good on you. I mean, go buy the Sony. But I'm a PC gamer, and my system shits on both of them. And I can tell you that at that level, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. It just doesn't. So, like, you know, the argument of I like the controller better, okay, I get that. I would buy that. But, like, you know, performance-wise, dude, go for the ecosystem first. That's my opinion.
Exactly. All right. Next story.
Gears of War 4 will have plenty of PC-specific features, and this comes from Joystick X Engadget. The history of Microsoft-backed Xbox One games coming to the PC isn't exactly stellar. When Remedy's Quantum Break reached Windows, it was saddled with limitations that were partly dictated by the Universal Windows platform's own limits, such as frame rate issues and an overall lack of features. You shouldn't run into those problems when Gears of War 4 rolls around, though. As part of a Eurogamer interview, the Coalition has revealed that the cover-based shooter will have ample PC-specific features. You'll get much deeper video settings that include dynamic resolution, so your ultra-wide display won't go to waste. It'll also take advantage of many core PC processors, higher resolution textures, and UWP's recently unlocked frame rates, offering a distinct visual advantage to playing on a brawny computer. Other perks? There's a benchmarking mode to make you feel good about your hardware upgrades, and you have full control over the keyboard and mouse input. In short, this should feel like a PC native game, even though it's likely to be the definitive Xbox One title for 2016. That's still not going to make everyone happy. Developers have railed against UWP's closed ecosystem for years, but it beats having to deal with console-like limitations just to play some big Xbox hits on your Windows gaming rig. And what are your thoughts on this, guys? That was a lot to say, let me tell you.
So this is again the future that I've always wanted. So I'm probably going to be the one that massages the balls of Microsoft a little too much in this episode. But I mean, really, this is for me as a PC gamer, who really switched to console specifically for one title and has lived a console life since then. Literally, Halo did it for me. This is awesome, man. Like, to be able to get my rig and really push it to the limits that it should be pushed to as a PC game and not get this downgraded experience, this ported over experience, which is the worst thing to happen to PC gamers since the console came out. It's the greatest thing, man. It's like I can play Gears of War. Now, it's not a game I like nor a game that I'm going to buy. But if this is a precedent that gets set, and my hope is that PC gamers buy Gears of War for that reason, I think it's a great thing. Like, there's no loss here. There's no loss here.
As much as people shit on UWP, they're making the efforts with it. The initial scope of UWP was restrictive, but once they unlock the frame rates and everything else, it is really given the games that are in the UWP umbrella the same feature set and scope of native PC games that are not kind of boxed in and dumbed down. And I think that Gears is probably going to be phenomenal on PC. I don't doubt it. As everybody knows, I'm not a Gears fan. That's not my kind of game. I don't like hiding. I don't like third person games, but I think this game's going to be fucking balls on PC. I know it's going to be balls on Xbox because everybody fucking loves this game and they can't suck enough fucking Gears of War dick to get this thing going. But and Microsoft said it at E3. They said all those games that they announced that were going to be Xbox One and PC that they showed during the press conference are all going to be part of this ecosystem here. So that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing that I would comment on if I was to give it like a thing is that everyone knows that native would be better. So, having said all the things I've said, that I know it will be of a better graphic quality than my Xbox One with my PC. There is still obviously the dissent in the conversation, which is that like anything you run natively is going to run better. Period. The end. Anything that you have a wrapper around. That you use as a framework that has its own restrictions outside of the actual PC's capability is not going to be as performant as running anything natively. Period.
Yeah, but you could always have said that same thing about OpenGL or DirectX. These are all these are also layers that go between the hard. Not everybody's writing games to the hardware. They're always writing to an abstraction layer anyway.
That's very, very true. I mean, it's just that this is one of the greater abstraction layers, I guess you could say, and a restricted abstraction layer. That's, I think, the biggest point. Yeah. It's less restricted than it used to be, which is great.
Yes.
But it still is a wrapper. It still is its own framework, and there are limitations there that you just don't have in native. Yeah. Or the native that people, I think, are used to when writing PC games, I guess.
Which is, nobody writes native games anymore.
No one writes native.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's written to some abstraction layer.
Yes.
Yeah. This is not just graphics abstraction. This is
exactly
a whole PC abstraction.
Exactly.
So,
So yeah, but other than that, man, like it's still good news. The biggest thing for me is I've been seeing people complain about this, that it is the UDP, that it's in the wrapper. But the thing is, would you just rather not have it on the PC at all? Because that's the biggest thing. It's
or have a piece of shit on the PC.
Or have a piece of shit, right? Have a back port of a console unit to native, but it doesn't matter because it's taken from the console.
Yep.
So you don't have any of the awesomeness of your PC rig in the game. So for me, it's like, yes, I know it's scary that they're doing this, but at the same time, you get to play Gears of War on your PC and you get to play it with your friends on your console. So it's not that bad.
Tits. All right, next story.
Trials dev try something new. Ace the demo and get the game for free. This comes from Gamasutra. Ubisoft surprised a lot of people at E3 last month by simultaneously announcing and publishing Trials of the Blood Dragon, developed by Red Lynx and Ubisoft Kiev, as a mashup of Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, and the Trials games. What's more intriguing from a developer's point of view is how the game is now being distributed. Starting today, people who download the demo for the game's PC version of Uplay and complete it with 15 or fewer faults before the end of the month will get the full game for free. It's a novel strategy for Red Lynx, though not unprecedented. This is the same studio that intentionally leaked a PC version of its 2008 game, Trials 2, that lacked leaderboard support to torrent sites in an effort to turn piracy into a marketing tool. In that case, the dev said that the lack of leaderboards in the leaked version would hopefully incentivize some pirates to buy the full game. With Blood Dragon, Ubisoft, and Red Lynx are presumably hoping that people who win a free copy will draw in other players by word of mouth. So what do you think of this, guys? It's kind of an interesting marketing strategy.
As someone that's played the Trials games, like I flipped that motorcycle 8 billion times trying to do these things. I don't think anybody can pull this off. Like I think it's nice that they're putting it out there.
Yes, it's a marketing strategy.
But I don't think anybody. What was the number of faults that you had to have? 15?
18 or 15?
Yeah,
15 or fewer.
Yeah, it'd be hard to have like 15 or fewer faults in one of the tracks. So to go through the whole demo and get 15 total in the whole thing, that you already have to be pretty good at the Trials games, which means you've probably already bought one or done something else. And I don't know.
And the game is cheap anyway. Like, so for me, it's essentially it's not a free to play game, but like for them to give it away for free, I think it's like $15 or something like that is what.
Yeah, it's usually a $15 or $20.
Yeah, I think it's. Let me look at it real fast. Steam. Yeah, $15.99, right? So that ain't gonna hurt your wallet too much. But it's definitely, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's a marketing ploy.
It gets people to try your demo.
Yeah, a small percentage will definitely get it. They will get it for free, but in the grand scheme of things, it's literally going to make no difference to their bottom line. It's a great idea. I wish more companies would do something like this. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to like say, hey, come play our game. If you hate it, then you just stop playing it. But if you really like it, we are going to give you some incentive to actually get it. And it certainly drums up interest. We're talking about it on this show. I'm sure if someone actually won it, they would tell their friends, oh my God, I won this and I've got the free game.
And then those friends would all go try and yep. Yeah.
Right. So it's a great idea, especially for a sort of a low budget game with really like, they're not banking the farm on this. It's not a AAA title. No. So I think for them, it makes a lot of sense. And Trials generally does decently well. I played Trials as well, the original one back in the day, because of friends that had played it. I knew nothing of Trials, and they were like, "You gotta play this game. It's ridiculous." And I played it for maybe a week or two. I didn't get.
We did that one time at your place.
Yeah.
Before one of the lands, everybody took turns, fucking grinding away, flipping, hitting your head. Yeah.
And it's a perfect game for that. It's definitely got that sort of social vibe of like you tell your buddy about Trials and he buys Trials because again, it's $15. You're like, whatever, no big deal, no harm, no foul. So. Great strategy, I think, with Trials, but like I agree. I don't think a million people are going to be like ace this and get the game for free. Yeah. Good stuff, though.
Good stuff. All right, next story.
We are on to this week's What the Fuck story, and it is focused on everyone's favorite topic for the past few weeks. Nintendo reminds investors it didn't make Pokemon Go. Stock plummets. And this comes from CNET. Pokemon Go has been such a hit that it caused Nintendo's stock to double. On Friday, however, the company reminded investors that it didn't actually make the game, causing stocks to drop by 18% on Monday. Pokemon Go is developed and distributed by Niantic, Nintendo said in a statement on Friday. The Pokemon Company, which is an affiliated company of Nintendo, holds the ownership rights to Pokemon. It adds that Nintendo owns 32% of the Pokemon Company, and therefore Pokemon Go's impact on Nintendo's business is limited. This prompted Nintendo's stock to fall by 18% on Tokyo Stock Exchange, according to Bloomberg, dropping the company's market value by roughly $6.7 billion. Let me say that again, $6.7 billion. This is likely an omen of things to come, with the publication noting that 18% is the most a company's stock can drop in a day due to Tokyo Stock Exchange regulations. It follows Nintendo seeing gargantuan rise in its stock following Pokemon Go's initial U.S. release in early July. On July 5th, Nintendo's shares were priced at $136.59. By July 19, they had more than doubled, closing out at a whopping $299.49. At the time of writing, Nintendo's stock now sits at $218.46. Nintendo did not immediately respond to a request for comment. While this may be bad news for the company, Japanese fans are likely still on a high after Pokemon Go, finally launched in their country last Thursday. Wow, that is a lot of numbers. So, what do you guys think of this? Like, the stock dropping, it goes up, it goes down. Like, what's going on here?
It goes to show people are just idiots. They have
That's what I was gonna say. It's the stupidity of the world.
Yeah.
I was gonna say America, but no, the world.
They're like, oh, Pokemon, that's Nintendo's thing. Let's buy their stock. Buy. It fucking ramps up to like almost doubles to 209. It more than doubles.
They had beaten Sony for the first time in like forever. Their market cap was the highest it had ever been. I mean, for me, it's weird, right? Like the funny thing about it is that they have to get out there and say like, because like deep down they're like, damn, we're making so much money.
This
Like,
is so sweet. Let's not tell anyone.
Does anyone want to say anything? Like, but they have to, because obviously projections wise, they would fail, because everyone's saying like, oh, okay, well, they're going to make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. So projections toward the future, if I'm an investor, I want the return on that investment.
Yeah.
But they would have never gotten that because, again,
they don't own it.
They don't own it. So they had to say something to sort of, I think they might have done better in explaining it. But essentially they came out and said, look, we only own a little bit of it. They didn't say like we didn't make it. They basically, they said we didn't make it, but they said like we own it, but it's not we've already accounted for the money in our projections.
Yep.
Like they had already said, we think we know how much it's going to make. We already know what we're going to get from that. So there's nothing beyond that point that we're making that you guys don't already know about. And so that was like, oh shit, you mean you're not making trillions of dollars? Like, and so the stock obviously took a dive. So, I mean, it makes sense how it all happened, but it's just funny that it's like the market's stupidity in investing in a company where they didn't do their homework.
Yeah,
no one looked at the sheets.
Yeah, they just saw what was on the news. Oh my God, the whole world is playing Pokemon Go. Oh, let's get in on this now before it's too late. Insanity. Absolute insanity.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, I wish it would go better for Nintendo in this particular case, because this is a weird scenario where it's legitimately not their fault in any way, shape, or form, and it inevitably harmed their company. Misconceptions of the public did more damage than really Nintendo could do themselves. But there's a small silver lining, which is that Nintendo is currently building mobile apps of their own for most of their actual IPs, things that they own.
Yeah.
And if Pokemon is any indication of how well the nostalgic level of Nintendo games will do, then they might be okay. So, I mean, it's a what the fuck story, but more like what the fuck to the people, not what the fuck to Nintendo. It's like, what the fuck? No one checks who they're investing in? Like, that seems like a lot of people didn't do their due diligence.
Exactly.
Derek, what do you think about this story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails? Altius asks. Now, Grant, he sent this question last week, so I'm going to modify which week he's talking about. With the Xbox One S coming out this week, are either of you planning on adding or replacing any of your existing Xbox Ones?
Yeah.
We are at some point, but we also need to pick up a 4K TV at the same time. So not a this week purchase, but a soon purchase where we'll be picking these both up, a 4K TV and a Xbox One S at some point.
By soon you mean Christmas, right?
Tiff's back. Wow, she's weighing in.
I figured I'd help out since Jay is like, his AOL dial-up is just shitting a brick right now.
Yeah, you have no video. You haven't had video for like 5 minutes.
Can I tell you why that is? Just to make it even funnier?
Sure.
I went to mute myself while you were talking, but I turned my camera off for like that entire time, but then didn't turn anything back on until I watched the stream and saw that it was off, which was about 5-6 minutes later.
Ah, nice. And so now you're still a spinning.
Yeah, now it's just stuck, even though I've redone my camera like 5 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
This will be an interesting end to the show. I'm gonna have to solo this shit.
Yeah. Well, you don't need my face.
Yeah, throw me a full view here. I got it.
Just full view that bitch.
Full me.
There you go.
I got this shit. I'm gonna ride this out in the end. If Jay shows back up, then you can fucking drop him in. But if he's still that spinning gray circle, I got this.
I like to think that spinning gray circle truly represents.
Oh, he's back. Look at this. He's back.
Nice. He's got to reboot it 6 or 7 times. Yes. That's the Skype way. Good thing we're using Skype, which as a piece of software, can I just say for the 80th time, is always of the highest quality and never has any
Has
problems.
never had any
It's
issue.
not a piece of shit
No.
and shouldn't be deleted from this planet at all.
No.
Yeah.
Skype is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Skype sucks balls.
Not to go on a tangent, but Skype, when you go in the tools menu, there is a option in the tools menu of Skype. There's only 4 things in there: change language, Skype Wi-Fi, options, and the 4th choice is install HoloLens add-in. How many people have the fucking HoloLens that you need a direct menu choice at a top level menu to add HoloLens to Skype? Like,
maybe focus on the service, I feel is like
yes.
would be great for me.
All right, we got to get HoloLens integration to Skype ASAP, guys. That's #1 feature we need for the 5 guys that have HoloLens in the world at $4,900 each. Like,
So fucking annoying.
yeah. All right. Well, if any of you have awesome feedback like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, by sponsoring our sponsors, you helped us support Still Got Game. We got ThinkGeek. Everybody shops there. Everybody loves ThinkGeek. So if you're going to go to ThinkGeek and buy something anyway, instead of going directly to thinkgeek.com, type in tooltoplay.com/geek. Shop through there. You'll get the best possible deal, and you'll help the show out. Also, the Craft Beer Club. Everybody loves craft beer. Everybody loves getting beer delivered every month. Someone's hand-picking beers, sending them to you. You get some pint glasses with it at a really good price, or you can give it as a gift to someone else. So if you're going to do that for yourself or someone, go to tooltoplay.com/beer. Order it that way. You will get the best possible deal from the Craft Beer Club, and you'll help the show out again. So once again, ThinkGeek, tooltoplay.com/geek, Craft Beer Club, tooltoplay.com/beer. Buy something and help us the fuck out. And if you want to sponsor us, 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We're going to tell you to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, god of everything. It's fucking holy. I'm at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
You can find me at twitter.com/dude-I-rock.
And I'm at twitter.com/electrify. Sorry, I was muted.
And now I'm pointing at Hit. I'm pointing at Hit.
He can't see you're pointing at him.
He can.
No, he can't. You're just pointing at the screen.
You're literally pointing forward.
Yeah.
No one knows what this means.
But Hit was shaking his head no as he saw me pointing. So he knew I was pointing at him. But so Hit doesn't want any advertising. So I'll try to throw him a bone. Twitter.com/i6hitman. Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dude-I-rock.
Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan, I think.
Facebook.com/i6hitman. Oh, Hit talk this time. Good. Thanks, Hit.
You forgot the A.
Sorry. Hey, only the podcast people are going to believe that one because everybody else saw me do it on video. But all right, we also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. That is the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content. So go there, subscribe. You'll be notified whenever we have new videos posted up. And you can find all the back episodes of this show, our other shows, Thick and Thin with LB, Duty, and Hit. Those back episodes from years ago when that was a show. One time Tiff was like, I'm going to do a show, guys. And then she did one episode of it. She ran the Signal Studios guys on it. It was a pretty fucking a baller show with our boy Logan DeMelt. But then she decided not to follow it up with another show. She was like, I've reached the pinnacle of shows. I cannot possibly outdo what I just did. And so there's one episode. But maybe at some point, her confidence will be boosted. If enough of you put something up on Twitter, let her know. Twitter.com/electrify. Tell her you want to bring it back. Bring on some more devs. Talk to them. Have a drink with them. That's how that show worked. And it was pretty good. So once again, youtube.com/tool-to-play. Find all of our archive video content there. Also, please rate and review this podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. So go there, click the 5-star button. Super fucking easy. It's literally the furthest right star you can get. So if they ever change it to 6 or 7 stars, you just keep going to the right. Whatever the rightmost star is the one we want, because that means that we're the best. And
the opposite of Pokemon Go's current rating system.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Not the 1-star Pokemon Go rating, the high rating. So 5 stars or more if they ever allow it. And if you're so inclined and can take like 30 seconds out of your day, maybe even 5 seconds, just write a comment with it. Gods, awesome, baller, tits, fuck yeah, Sea King, to bring back Pokemon into this. Whatever you want to write, just put something in there and help us out. We also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tool-to-play. That is where some people are watching this live now. That is where all of Tool to Play's live video content goes. So if you want to go there, there's some buttons at the bottom. One says subscribe, one says follow. You can follow us. But really, and if you follow us, you'll be notified on your phone, wherever else that we've gone live. But the key button there is the subscribe button. So if you click the subscribe button, costs you almost nothing, but it is the way to directly support the show and put money directly in our pockets. So click that subscribe button and help us out. And I guess before we wrap up, I want to remind you, you can join us live each and every Monday night, except during the summertime when things are fucked. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And I am Tiffany Electrified Nolan.
Pokemon what?
Pokemon No. Oh, sick burn. Sick fucking burn.
Pokemon Go.
Oh, now it's here.